Hey guys, welcome back to my second episode of Growing Up Digital. Today we have my English teacher, Miss Heather Dykes.
Hello.
And today she will be giving us the parent perspective on how technology has affected children's minds. So my first question for you is, what kinds of technology does your child use the most in their daily life?
So I have two. One is 12 and she has a tablet and a laptop and a cell phone, but now that she has gotten a cell phone for her 12th birthday, she mainly uses that. And then my son, who is 6, he has just an iPad, and so that's what he uses daily.
Okay. Now, how much time do you think your child typically spends on their device during a normal weekday?
Definitely too much. So I put time limits on them. So like my daughter's, I think she's older, so she has like 3 hours during the week after we get home at like 5 o'clock. My son has 2 hours during the week when it finally goes off. But for my daughter, a lot of times I have to unlock it because she has to do homework now that she's in middle school.
Yeah.
So if the time limit, if we ignore it or ask for more time, we do cut it off at 10 o'clock because that's when she has to go to bed. So depends for the daughter, and for the little one, he gets 2 hours a day.
Okay. So do you think that, like with the technology limit, do you think that you should start shutting off 30 minutes before she goes to bed so she has like time to wind down, or do you think that the 10 o'clock time is working well for her?
No, I mean, I've read all of the science, the stuff that backs it up, that you should get off of your screens 30 minutes before you go to bed. So I definitely think that's what I should do. Mm-hmm. It's just hard sometimes. And I don't know if that's just because of, the expectations of society now, that they do have so much homework and we do have such busy lives that I need every moment to get something done. So using 30 minutes to wind down sometimes isn't feasible. But I definitely think I should. I just don't. I don't know what that says about me, but I don't.
Now, have you ever had any concerns about online safety, social media, and or cyberbullying with your child having all these different points of access to technology?
Yes. So the little one, not so much, because he's still learning to read now. So he can't really communicate with people or type back and forth. But with my daughter, yes, I've seen and heard about all of the dangerous things that present themselves with Roblox, and my daughter has played Roblox forever, because that's how we entertain ourselves during COVID. So that worries me. She doesn't have any social media, so I'm not worried about the cyberbullying just yet, because I feel like that's more like an Instagram, TikTok thing.
Definitely Instagram thing.
Yes, and so I haven't gotten to that yet. I hope that I can deter her from wanting to get social media for quite a while, so I don't have to worry about that quite as much. But as far as Roblox, she still does get on that sometimes, and I do the best I can with what I have, which is like disable the chat functions where they can't chat back and forth, and she can't just add anybody without my approval. But I know that's not fail-proof. Kids are smart and they can work about anything.
No, I did that on my little sister's tablet when she first started playing Roblox a couple months ago, because I was like, there are too many creeps on Roblox for you to just have full access to everything.
Absolutely.
So because my parents don't really know much about like Roblox and stuff like that, because they don't play games like that. So I told them, I was like, we're gonna have to turn off her chat notifications, the adding new friends, all that stuff. If you add somebody and you don't know who that is, or you're not with that person when they're messaging you talking about, I'm gonna add you on here, then we're gonna have to decline that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then for her phone, of course, I have it's called Bright Canary, which is, I don't know if it's like the Bark app, where it basically tells me everything that she types, or it warns me. I can go through everything and read it word for word, but it basically kind of filters out, like, she typed this word in, maybe you need to look into this. So we've got some safeguards on her phone. But like I said, kids are smart. So I'm sure at some point we're going to have to deal with cyberbullying or something scary on the internet.
Well, my next question was, what challenges do you face when trying to limit your child's screen time or technology use? But you've already answered that, so we'll just move on to the next one. Now, have you noticed a shift in your child's attitude and or demeanor after being introduced to technology?
I think so. It's hard now because they have had it for so long, but I definitely know that, like for my son, when he's off of the tablet, he's not as whiny,
Yeah.
And I don't know the science behind how it affects brains and all that stuff, but he definitely is more whiny or gets angrier faster when he's on his tablet a lot.
He's more like discombobulated.
Yes,
less
for
emotionally
sure.
regulated.
Yes, because sometimes on the weekends, like I said, life is fast, and sometimes we can't, like we're going to soccer games and volleyball games, and so he doesn't have a time limit that day because we're trying to keep him occupied. And those days, yeah, sometimes he's a little bit more aggravated and irritable than on weekdays when he doesn't have it quite as long. As far as Willow, not as much so far, but I worry about that when she gets older with Instagram and social media because of like that whole, well, no, I guess she's had a little bit because, you know, it's like the highlight reel of you get kind of jealous, like, oh, well, they're always out having fun. When in reality, most of our time we're not. We're hanging around the house, not doing all that stuff. But on the outside, it does look like, oh, we're living a boring life. Right. And so the comparison that she feels sometimes with her friends is an issue.
No, I definitely understand that because like with my little sister, and I'm just going to like compare what you said with your son to her because like yesterday when she came home, because I'm the only one that's at home when she gets home since I get off early and my parents are both at work. I had to tell her, I was like, look, when you get home, you can't immediately drop your stuff and get on the tablet.
Right.
Because that's all she does. As soon as she gets to the house, she drops her bag, takes off her shoes, she chills for like 2 seconds, she gets the tablet, and she goes to get something to eat. And it's like, you need to try to unwind for a hot second before you get on the tablet. Because like, it's just like dopamine plus more dopamine as soon as you get home. So it's like you're never really getting a break. You're never getting a chill moment.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's hard, I think, for them because sometimes my kids tend to do that, to take themselves away from it than to do the stuff they need to. Like if they have homework, or like my son, I mean, he doesn't really have homework, but he has sight words and stuff that he has to do. They don't want to stop because they're finally doing something that they enjoy. So yeah, I try to keep them away from it right away, but sometimes you don't because you get busy.
Yeah. Now, sometimes I think I'd be messing with her a little bit too much because I'm like, okay, look, you say you have an hour before you have to do your homework, which is crazy to me because for me personally, I was just been the type, and this is just like me saying this about myself. I've always been the type where as soon as I get home, do your homework, then you have the rest of the night to chill.
Yeah.
Because if I'm already going off of like school hours, I'm already ready to get all the work done. Why would I want to stop? Take a break. I'm not going to come back to it.
I like to get my to-do list done.
Get it done, and then I can just chill for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
So I have nothing else to bother me. But like with her, she has an hour before she has to actually go do homework.
Right.
So whenever she's on the tablet, I'm like, okay, I get that you have an hour, but you don't need to spend that whole hour as soon as you get home on the tablet.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you watch TV, but like let's get off the tablet for now. Let's just chill on the tablet.
For sure.
Or let's go outside. Let's play with the dog. Let's read a book. Let's do something else.
Right. And I wonder though, like back in the day, of course not for you probably, but like if our parents felt like that about the TV, like if we came home and immediately turned it on, was that kind of like, they're like, maybe you don't need to do that just yet.
No,
and now we're like, no, the TV's okay.
That was my dad. Cause like I didn't have a tablet growing up until like my aunts and uncles like would give me one when I was older, around her age. But we had the TV, and he was like, so we get home, we want to watch TV. No, you can't watch TV. That was my dad. He was like, we're not gonna watch TV right now. Go do your work. That's why I think I'm like, okay, let's get all the stuff done now. Yeah. Then we get on the TV later. But like I said, that's just how I feel about it. Now, how has tech affected your family interactions, such as like meals or conversations or just regular outings? Because like for mine, I know sometimes tech is very intrusive on our conversations because like my little sister, she wants to sit there and watch the tablet while she eats. Or even me, I go on my phone and I go scroll on TikTok or Instagram while I eat. And my mom, she has a really big rule. She's like, oh, no technology while you're at the table. Sure. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, what meal it is, no breakfast, lunch, dinner, no technology whatsoever. Even my dad, he's not allowed to have the tablet or anything. Yeah. So that's just how we do it. But how about you? Well, so of course we have those, it interferes with it in lots of ways, especially conversations tonight, because I do feel like a lot of times, especially if we're all kind of overstimulated and just tired, because we are kind of a family of like introverts that kind of want it to be quiet, we will just kind of sit around and scroll on our phone without having any kind of conversation. Yeah. So there is a disconnect, and we try to be aware of that, but then, still sometimes it's just like, I am okay with this right now because I need a moment. Yeah. But as far as dinners, we try not to, but
the little one, ADHD, and who I'm sure the tablet makes it worse. Sometimes, if we're out in a restaurant, he's going to be that tablet kid at the table so that we can eat quietly. But we don't eat often out as far. That's what I mean. We don't eat out often because we are aware that he isn't able to sit still and be quiet very much. And we don't want to bother other people. So we do tend to let him get the tablet when we're out to eat. But my daughter's pretty aware now of, let's not have it out while we're at the dinner table trying to have a conversation. But as far as like the other times when we could be doing things, often we would just prefer to doom scroll, and that's probably unhealthy. And we're very aware of it, but that's the thing that the phones do, is addict you to it, right? No, I so you want to do this?
A good doom scroll.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, and like for me, I talk most of the day and I'm with people most of the day. So I like to go home and...
Which is understandable for why you want to just like...
Yes, have a little bit of time to myself. But I know that, my kids are only little for so long. So I should be more involved every night. But also I try to give some leniency to myself because,
you can't do everything.
You can't all the time. You can't be on all the time.
But how has technology changed the way that you parent compared to how your parents parented you when you were a child?
Right.
That's how
it's so interesting, and it's also interesting whenever if you have kids in the future, how your parents will judge your parenting, even though it's completely different atmospheres, right? Because like for us, they didn't have that aspect of I've got to worry about, is my kid comparing themselves to other kids? Because we didn't have the social media feed to constantly stay in touch with our friends. I saw them at school, and maybe on the weekends if I went to their house, and that was it. There wasn't that comparison. So we were used to being bored, and we thought everyone else was just bored at the same time. And there was nothing else to do but watch TV or go outside. So they didn't have the same, I almost feel like they could be a lot more hands-off, right? Like, hey, go outside and just come back in when it gets dark and we're good. Or go watch your TV, because the TV, they, only allow certain things on TV. So you didn't worry about us seeing things we weren't supposed to, especially if you didn't have cable back then. But like our generation, our kids have access to everything. And can get and find everything. And if they don't know how to, they can ask a friend to, And so it's hard.
It's really bad.
Because like you almost have to watch them nonstop. I can't let them log into my Netflix without me watching them, because what if they log on to mine and watch Heated Rivalry or something, I can't. You have to be aware of everything your kid is doing. And I can't just send them outside, because we're more hyper aware because of technology of all the dangerous things that happen. So I feel like that might be also why like current parents are so much more overstimulated and unhappy a lot of the times than back in the day, because you don't get that break. You're hyper aware, and you don't really get a break from parenting ever, because you have to. I mean, if you're a good parent, you've got to be there all the time.
I would like to bring up that kind of reminded me of my last conversation, was you were able to be bored. A lot of kids nowadays don't know how to just be bored and just use their imagination and do stuff by themselves. Like they have to be constantly stimulated, constantly interacted with, instead of just allowing themselves to decompress and learn how to just do stuff by themselves. And secondly, my second point was that when you said that you feel like you have to constantly watch your kids, and like I said, I'm gonna keep like circulating back to my little sister, because she's like the closest to your daughter's age. Yesterday, and this is just an example, she watches a lot of mukbangs sometimes. And so
which kind of weirded me out.
a little bit, but like I don't know, I watch them when I'm hungry. That's off to the side. But no, she was watching like mukbangs or whatever. I don't know what she was really watching for real, because I wasn't paying attention to her, which I guess I should have. But
you're also not a parent. You're
you're
a sibling.
But I was in my room, and I come out of my room, and she's eating ramen noodles and something else. I don't know how to pronounce the name. And I guess a lot of mukbangers like eat them together. But she's 10. And I was like, Joelle, what are we doing? Can we please put this away? And I told her, I said, I was so confused. I was like, Joelle, why are you eating both of these at the same time? These are two separate meals for two separate occasions. She was like, oh, well, this is just how they eat it. And I was like, who is they? She said, the people on the table. I said, no, close this one up. We'll save it for later. And then you can finish the rest of your noodles. I don't care if you eat your noodles, but like, let's save this for later. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce it. But that just like, that tripped me out, because I was like, why are you doing
They
this?
copy
And you're
what they
only
see.
doing this because you're copying what you see on the internet.
Right. I know. And when my daughter was a little younger, she used to watch the kids playing with toys.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kids wouldn't play with toys. Like she wouldn't play with toys
she
herself.
would watch the kids
she would
playing
watch
with
the
the
kids
toys.
play with toys. And I was like, why don't you just go do that yourself? And then every once in a while I would catch her like recording herself playing with toys.
Aww.
And that was really cute. But also like, then I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't want to be a YouTube star because that also is scary. But yeah, I mean, they copy what they see. And as far as being bored, I feel like I even noticed that with like student y'all's age, because I'll give a mental health day, and maybe not first period, but you know,
That's my period.
some of the other classes, I'll give them a mental health day, which is supposed to be a mental health day for me too, right? Because I have work to do or whatever. And immediately I'll have 5 kids up here just like touching on my stuff and asking me all these questions. And I'm like,
they have
can
bad
you sit-
nerves. They need to
can you
fidget.
just sit down and like relax a little bit? No, we're bored. And I'm like, okay, well, this didn't work out like it's supposed to, because a lot of people can't, even older, you know. But even for me, I mean, I am definitely guilty of turning on a TV show that I want to watch and watching 30 seconds and then immediately
Doing
picking up my
something else.
phone. Yeah,
exactly.
And sometimes it'll be just like Candy Crush, which I know that dates me. Sorry, like Candy Crush or something else. But I'll be playing the app while I'm watching it. And I'm like, why can't I just do one thing?
No,
It's like we're triggered to do 2 things at once all the time.
Exactly. I'll have Criminal Minds playing in the background and I'll have Block Blast on my phone. Like, it's bad. And I
Block Blast was your generation's.
My mom, oh my God,
what is
I
it, Candy
put my
Crush?
mom on Block Blast, and every time she like wins something, she'll come to the show. She's like, "Bam, new high score, beat yours," because she's competitive. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you got that."
But you know what? I guess there's some benefit probably to playing games versus just doom scrolling. So there's that.
And like, you know what? I'm not even gonna knock it because my dad, he just got Mahjong on his phone. Don't know how he got that game on his phone, but he's been playing it, and he's just been playing it. I'm like, okay, go ahead, do what you gotta do. But I guess he really enjoys it, so that's good.
Mahjong's fun. It's a new thing taking off.
Now, one of my next questions are: do you believe that parents are partially to blame for their children's growing technology addictions?
Yes.
And that's not even just saying like you personally, but like parents older than you, some younger than you, because a lot of parents or people that have grown up in like the 2000s, and I mean like they were born around the 2000s that are now growing up to be adults and have their own children.
Sure.
Do you believe that they are partly at fault for
their addiction to? Oh, absolutely. I mean, we definitely are partly at fault, because I absolutely know I could be more strict. You know, my husband and I have that conversation all the time. Like, was it the right decision to get Willow, her phone when she turned 12? I don't know. I mean, I definitely could have been more strict and said, no, not until you're driving, right? And could have not let my son had a tablet until he absolutely needed one, or never. So I know that it's partly the parents' fault. And I guess the other side of that is the only thing that I feel like can back us up or give it excuse is that it's also partially because of society.
The environment that we're
like how, like I keep coming back to how busy we are. Like we live in such a fast-paced society that we're busy all the time, right? Like moms are working and dads are working, and then we've got all these sporting events and extracurriculars we have to go to, and we only have 2 days in the weekend, and then you gotta make sure you're cleaning all the house and all that stuff. I mean, we're just nonstop.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's easier to just give them a tablet.
No, which I totally understand.
Yeah.
It's like, when I don't want to deal with either of my sisters, I'd be like, can y'all please go in y'all room and like watch something, go sit down, go do something. But I feel like sometimes technology can be beneficial, and I'm talking about like entertainment type technology can be beneficial when you're like playing it together. Like say you're playing a game together, you're interacting with somebody else that's like physically next to you instead of playing games on your own.
Yeah,
or
for
you're just watching videos on your own. You're spending time with somebody as you're doing something.
Oh, for sure. I mean, during COVID and sometimes when they can talk me into it, we have a blast playing Roblox together, and they're not doing anything bad. They're not doing anything negative, nefarious in the app or whatever. We're just playing together. Yeah. And sometimes that's nice because it's a connection with them doing something they enjoy and you can just be part of it.
Somehow my little sister got my technology hating dad to play 99 Nights in the Forest with her. And he was sitting over there on her tablet talking about, where are you going? You gotta get the firewood. Why'd you get the meat? I was like, what are we doing? I just heard him yelling not yelling, but like, he was like, he was freaking out because he was like, we're gonna die.
I know.
We're losing life. And I was like, oh, Since when did you
I
start
know.
playing these games?
And that's the sad thing of it is like Roblox gets a bad rep because of
All
those
the-
dangerous things that
Yeah.
can happen. But I feel like the majority of it is not
it's
too
pretty
bad.
good.
Yeah, they're not terrible games. They're pretty
Mhm.
innocent for the most part. It's just people always have to ruin nice things.
Yeah. Like I never played Roblox not once in my life up until my little sister got it.
Mhm.
And I told my parents, like I said, I was like, I'm gonna download it to make sure she's not doing when
Sure.
you want to play it, I'll play it with you.
Yeah.
To make sure you're not doing anything, or not you're not doing anything, that somebody's not talking
Sure.
to you
Yeah.
when they shouldn't be speaking to you, and to
Mhm.
make sure that the things I turned off are actually off. You
Right.
know? Just making sure everything was still working out fine. And I actually really enjoyed playing with her. Like I
Right.
said, I never played Roblox before, but I had fun, even though I only played my two little games, my
Right.
99 Nights and Dress to Impress. That was all I played. That was all I ever played. Now,
I have seen Dress to
they
Impress.
were good, and I won plenty of rounds in Dress to Impress. I was great. I don't know what happened to my login. I don't know how to get back into my account, but I had a lot of fun. But anyways, okay, so my last couple questions are, and we can just kind of not speed run, but try and get through as many as we can before the time runs out. What are some ways to combat the growing social media / phone addiction? And I'm going to ask these questions to all of my guests. So I've already asked this to Ms. WP and as well as my mental health professional.
Okay. So, I mean, I think the best way, and honestly, this is kind of the way I parent too, is just to be like open and honest with your kids about the dangers of not just using social media and all of this stuff, but also the dangers of, you know, being addicted to technology on your health and everything. And I feel like, at least for me, my daughter responds well to that if she has the why. Instead of me just saying, no, you can only have 2 hours and never explaining the why behind that, I think that helps. Like she has, like her New Year's resolution was to put her phone down and not to be on it, not to scroll on whatever YouTube shorts for more than an hour, because she knows it's unhealthy for her. And I feel like that's the best way to combat it is instead of just being so strict and saying you can't do this ever,
No, because I'm the adult.
because they're going to get it eventually, right? It's like telling your kid they can never have sweets. Well, once they turn 18, they're definitely going to wild out on some sweets, right? So I try to be open and honest, and I think that's a good approach for most of them, because if you know the why of why people are trying to, you know, get you away from doing something, you're a little bit
better about not doing it.
it's not just like no, they're telling me I can't, so I'm going to.
Yeah.
So that's why.
No, because that
That's the
definitely
plan.
creates more of a rebellion against whatever the parent says no
For sure.
Because when my dad and my mom let me have my phone, the only reason why I got my phone was because I started walking home with my little sister in 6th grade.
Yes.
So I was around your daughter's age when I got my phone. So that was the only reason why I had originally got it. But once I asked for technology, they were like, no, and this is the reason why. And I was like, okay.
Right.
Didn't really like it, but I was like, okay.
Right.
Now, I will say I've never snuck like on an app or not a social media app, but I did sneak on like some app, and it was to talk to people. And then my parents found out, they were like, oh, this is exactly why we didn't want you to do this, because of the people on the app. And I was like, I don't remember what it was called. And obviously I was in the wrong for it.
Sure.
And they explained to me why I couldn't have it. And I don't even think I got grounded.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Right.
Because they was mad.
Yeah. And I mean, and kids
They were so
will,
mad.
they will test for that stuff and they will test their boundaries and stuff. But
And
if they know the dangers of it, like I am very open as well about why she can't accept friend requests or talk to people. And I'll tell her, because you don't know if this is actually someone your age or if it's a 45-year-old man or woman
pretending to be your age,
trying to meet up with you to take advantage of you.
No,
know? I'm pretty open about it.
I'm not gonna lie, and I told my dad this too, and he laughed at me when I said it. I was like, look, you made me a little paranoid around people. Every time somebody comes around me, I'll be watching them, because I'm like, I don't know what you want to do.
And that's not
to
always
me in
a bad
person.
thing.
I don't know what you want to do to me in private. Just stay away from me until I get to know a little bit more about
And that's not always a bad thing. And then I was thinking about this earlier. It's similar because like when I was growing up, we had chat rooms. And I think because we're more hyper aware of it, like I said, we know the dangers. My parents never checked on what we were doing in chat rooms. And like we were talking to random people and they would always say ASL, age, sex, location. Like, where are you from and what's your age? I always told people I was like 17. I wasn't
never knew
17. Like, I was lying too. So, but no one knew what we were doing. And so we got away with it. Now we do know what our kids are doing, or
So
we
I think
should.
that's definitely a benefit to the children now that the parents know what they used to do.
Yes.
So then they're like, okay, I know what to watch for
Yes.
with y'all.
Right, because we did grow up with technology. Like, we did, not when we were super little, but we're still pretty aware of all of the technology
y'all are
and can use
very
it.
technologically able.
Right. Yes, my parents were not.
Now, my next question is: at what age do you believe that a social media addiction is curated or cultivated?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I feel like it's got to be the teenage years, between like 13 and 18, right? Because that's when they feel the pressure to get it. That's
Definitely.
when it feels like they're the fear of missing out if they don't have it. And then when they do get it, I feel like they're constantly trying to make the perfect post, right? They're not just going to make
picture.
they're not going to just post silly stuff. It's like, I want to make sure I look a certain way. I want to make sure the song's a certain way. And it's almost like they're creating their image on social media that could be completely different than who they actually are. And I feel like that's when it's created, right? And that just follows you throughout life. Of course, you could say it also starts in college, because some people don't really start having that presence until, they're let loose in college.
Because I feel like I agree with your first assessment, because I only got social media when I turned 16. Because my parents were like, we're not going to let you have Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or any of that, because like you said, they know how it works, how it affects people. So they were like, we're not going to let you have it. But I definitely feel like that's when that addiction started, because I was like, oh, okay, I get to have my Instagram, my TikTok, and I will sit here and scroll on TikTok till 2 a.m. sometimes if I can't sleep.
Yes,
because I'll be tired.
I know.
But I'm not gonna lie, I sleep like an old lady, so I go to bed at like 10 p.m.
That's great
8 if I really, really just need rest.
Right.
But
yeah. I'm afraid, like, she hasn't asked for social media yet. So I just keep waiting for that to happen.
Till it happens.
And hope it doesn't anytime soon.
That's good. Now, what are good ways to safeguard your children online?
Like any social media app and like games and stuff like that. I mean, I think you just have to watch carefully, but if you that's hard, because like Roblox doesn't really have anything, unless that will alert me, right? Do they have something like that will alert you if your kid does a certain thing, or do you set it up as a kid account?
But I know they're like, obviously you can put parental controls on it, but I'm not sure if it'll send you like an alert or anything.
Right, yeah.
I have to look into that.
And that's all you can do, I feel like, is just have it on lockdown as much as you can with the screen time. Like, I can control their tablets and phones from mine, because I set them up as a child account. So I think that's useful, although that's only through Apple. I don't know what Android has. To make sure that you can shut it off as much as possible. And if you can have something like Bright Canary or Bark, to where it even gives you like what they're typing in, so you know what they're searching for, and it kind of pulls out the things that you should be
like
leery
specific
of.
words, kind of how like the school does when we type in certain things.
Exactly. And sometimes the words are stupid, and I'm like, I'm not worried about that, but I would rather it be overboard than too lenient.
Like when we did that project a little while ago about the controversial decisions,
the bioethics.
Bioethics, and we were doing assisted suicide. I was like, what if they call us down?
I know,
for looking up assisted suicide in the school computer.
For sure.
And I was like, we'll see.
Right, but that's the best way to do it, because then that's the most connected you can be. And even then, I just feel like with the rate technology advances, I don't know that parents will ever be able to keep up with it now.
Yeah, because it's constantly being thrusted in kids' faces. I always want the new this, the new that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and kids are always figuring out ways around it.
Watch it. Like Coach Schilling said, somebody figured out how to get past the lockdown browser.
Oh yeah, that's
something.
They always do. I'm like, if even the tech people at school can't figure out how to keep the kids from working around things, just a normal parent probably can't either. But we can try.
All right, guys. Well, that is the end of the second episode of Growing Up Digital. Again, I'd like to thank my co-host, Ms. Dykes, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I have. I hope you learned as many things as I did, and I definitely enjoyed your input. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I don't, but thank you for including me in this. I always enjoy talking to you.
I enjoy talking to you as well. You're one of my favorite teachers.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.